Hey guys, MarshmallonFluff here, and I'm going to be showing you guys a deck profile on some weird Lavals with Spellcaster mashed up custom deck profile. You'll have to listen to him for a little more information, so let's get started.
It literally is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a mashup of monsters thrown together with kind of a theme that works.
And it works.
Start off with Triple Fire Dog. You see Fire Dog a lot lately. He can pull out a lot of monsters. He can pull out tuners I want to, or a monster with 200 defense or fires. You can pull out my Challen if I want to look at back row later, or Exceed if I feel I'm not going to be able to go off, if I need to go defensively. I can onslaught him and then go into a rank 4, or I can start synchroing if I have the tuners in my hand too. He's just such a versatile card nowadays, especially with all support. He's good. 1900 attack, runs over your monster if he destroys it, special summons. 2 Flamvell Magicians. Level 4 tuner, get your 8s out there, or I can get 5s out there because I do run a few level 1s and I run monsters that are versatile in terms of level to get them out there. It helps me get my rank 4s out fast. He can be brought back with Rekindling. He starts with Fire Dog, add to the hand with my Searchers and others. To finish on my Flamvells, I run 2 Flamvel Pound. I know people call him Poon, but I like calling him Pound because I don't like saying Poon. It's 200 defense. If he destroyed by battle, I can add any monster in my deck with 200 defense from my deck to my hand. He helps me search out my Lightsworn, especially my Lilas or my fire monsters if I need them, my Cannoneers if I want to start doing burn damage and getting my fires in the graveyard. He's good bait because people will start to think he's Rykos and still attack into it and not care, and I'm like, haha, guess what, it's Pound. And add a monster to my hand. I feel like he is a pretty good exchange for Sangan because since I run a lot of 200 defense monsters, I can pretty much add anything I want. To start with my Lavals, Handmaiden. I'm going to have a Laval in the graveyard, and when she gets sent to the graveyard, at that moment, I can send another Laval from my deck to my grave. It helps me thin my deck out, it helps me set up my graveyard for Rekindling. It's 200 defense, I can search with it, it's a level 1 tuner, I can get my rank, or get my 5-star synchros out faster. So if she hits the graveyard, if I mill her with my mill engine, or if she gets attacked, or if I dark hole while she's on the field, I send one, send another, and send like a last Laval. Probably a Lakeside Lady, I'll get to that in a bit. 2 Level Cannoneers. 1700 attack, he's pretty big, level 4. I can send a fire monster from my hand to the graveyard to inflict 500 points of damage to my opponent. I can do up to twice per turn. I can send a Cannoneer with a Cannoneer to set up my Handmaiden effect for later. Or I can send a Fire Dog if I need him to be rekindled back. It's good for getting my graveyard set up where I need to be just to go off later in the game. And if you have a clear field, I'll just send 2 fires and attack. That's 27 damage. It puts you pretty far behind. To end off my Lavals, I run 1 Lakeside Lady. If I have 3 Lavals in the graveyard, including her, with different names, I can banish her and another Laval to destroy 1 set card on your side of the field. It gets rid of your defense monster if I know it's going to be a Reaper or a Ryko, or your back row if you only have 1. It gets it off, and it's just a pretty good card. It's a level 3. If I rekindle it back, I can actually go for my rank 3s a little bit faster. If I wanted to run them in the side, or I can just sync for like Black Rose or such. To keep the fire thing going, I run 2 Challen. I actually ran into him on Dueling Network by looking at fire monsters with 200 defense. He has a pretty good effect, and he's coupled with the next card I'm going to show you, you'll see why, because he's a Spellcaster, and it makes my plays a lot faster. What he can do is once per turn, I can call one of your set cards, declare a spell or trap. If I call it right, you can't activate it that turn. You have to reveal it, so I'm going to see what you have. So if it's a Mirror Force, I know not to attack too heavily, or if I can sacrifice some monsters to get your Mirror Force to go off. 1800 attack, 200 defense, searchable, summonable with Rekindling. The last card, which I found to speed this deck up a lot if I have in my hand, is Inari Fire. If I control a Spellcaster, any Spellcaster, I can special summon him from my hand. I can only control 1, but that's not the problem. If I get Challen on the field, if I get Lila on the field, just drop it from my hand, go into a rank 4, or I can, if I have a tuner in my hand, I can start synchroing. This is especially good with Rekindling because once I get like my Hyper Librarian on the field, I can special summon him and get my synchro going so I can go for the big boss, which we'll see in the extra deck. Hand traps, Gores, and 2 Trag. Needless to say, I need a lot of level variability, so I run 2 Trags. Gores, I don't run very much back row. I run no traps, so Gores goes off most of the time. I can just sit on him first turn if I want to wait. Now for my mill engine, I run Triple Lila, Sure, she'll get bottomless. Keeps my bigger monsters from getting bottomless. I need her for my recharges. Just turn her to pop back row. I can search her with pound, add her to my hand for a solar recharge so I can draw 2 and then mill more. Triple Raikou. I don't have very many defenses in this deck, and I want to mill and pop cards and be saved from getting sacked. So Raikou is just so versatile in this deck. It's amazing. 1 charge, just mill 3, and then get a Light Sworn in my hand. I usually only do it when I need to activate solar recharge, or if I have an Inari in the hand and I need to get a rank 4 out, mainly Maestro, so I can go for defense. 2 solar recharge. It's needed. Helps me draw and mill, get what I need. This new card that came out in the Fire Structure deck is Onslaught of the Fire Kings. My only target is Fire Dog. People tell me I'm dumb for running this, but since my Fire Dogs are usually in the deck, I'm going to want them out. I'm going to want them in the graveyard. So it's okay if it gets destroyed at the end phase, because I'm fine with that. Because I'm just going to rekindle it back later. I don't get the effect, but I do get the level 4 monster with 1900 attacks. So I can run over your monsters, or I can go into an Xseed if I have the monster in my hand. I can go to a Synchro if I have the tuner in my hand. So I'm okay. And it's a special summon. It gets out there faster. 3 Rekindling. I am very surprised this card didn't get hit, and I'm kind of glad because this deck would be kind of dead without them. They're just special summons all fire monsters, or as many as possible fire monsters in your graveyard with 200 defense. It helps me go for game because I can synchro like crazy. I can clear your field. I can go for the big boss of this deck that gets out very fast. People worry about me milling this, but I run cards as backup. The Trinity, needed in every deck. 2 Magical Stones of Excavation. I run a lot of fire monsters with 200 defense, so I need to send them to the graveyard for Rekindling. So if I have 1 Rekindling in my hand, or in the graveyard, and I have this and 2 fire monsters, I'll just send them and get Rekindling. It fuels my graveyard, and it lets me do what I need to do. It helps me, especially when I mill them with the Light Sworn engine, so it helps me get them back so there's never a dead Rekindling in my deck. I'll use Rekindling like 5 times per game and then go for game because I run these 2 cards. And then 2 MST, I run 3 Lila, that's enough back row hit for me. I run Scrap Dragon in the extra deck. I feel like 2 is going to be enough. And the deck's already at 42, but you run through it so fast, it feels like it's nothing. For the extra deck, the big card, Quasar. He gets out here fast. If I have a monster born and 1 Rekindling, I go for Quasar. It's that simple. Alright, 2 Rekindling, that's Quasar. As long as you have the resources in the graveyard, this card gets out there fast. He has a great effect. He gets your Shooting Star if he leaves the field. He can attack up. He can attack twice, and he's just fast. 1 Shooting Star. If I can't get Quasar, I'll just summon Stardust Dragon, use my formula, and go for this card. I do run a lot of tuners. I'll try to keep them in the deck at least, so I can do that. Or I can search through my deck. A lot of people don't use a secondary effect to look through their deck to see what they're going to draw and to reshuffle. I like doing that because I want a better chance at drawing my card. People say it kills it because statistics. I say I don't care. I want to see the cards that I'm not going to want to be drawing. And you get them out with Quasar. Scrap Dragon, simple. Pop one of your opponent's cards and Handmaiden. My Handmaiden goes off. It's so easy to make an 8 in the deck. It's ridiculous. Stardust. He's needed. Saves me from being destroyed. He's very easy to get out, especially with a Fire Dog. Black Rose, clear the field so I can go off, especially if I have 2 Rekindling in my hand. I'm going to want to get Black Rose and clear your field. Laval Dragon, or Dragoon. He's level 6. He's pretty easy to get out. He doesn't have 200 defense, but he has a pretty good effect, especially if I want Handmaiden to start going off. If I have a Cannoneer in the graveyard, I can pull a Handmaiden from my deck, add it to my hand by its effect, and then send that same Handmaiden to the graveyard, and Handmaiden's effect will go off. I'll start milling, so I will get the Rekindling plays I need to go for Quasar. TG, Hyper Librarian. If you run Quasar, you're going to need him. You just draw. I can special summon Inari. It's pretty good. Android, because I need more 5s out there. His DT, look at it, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I can gain more life points and just sit on the card, it's okay. 1 Laval Dual Slasher, has 200 defense, so I can Rekindling it back. So if I have a clogged up field and I feel like I can't go for Quasar, which I try to do for most games, if I can, it's okay, because I can still go for big synchros, but that's not the point. I can Rekindle him back, that's the good part. Cataster, it's obvious what he does, runs over your monsters. Lavals Dragon. This is the good one. especially when I'm synchroing. He's a great 5 to go for, especially when I'm trying to go for Quasar, because I can just shuffle 2 Lavals in my graveyard to my main deck, and then send a card back to your hand. He's like the fire version of Brio, and it's awesome. And I like that he's still in the format. For him to synchron, he's needed. It's obvious. 2 Maestro. Gotta write this down. Maestro. I can play this card pretty easily, especially with the Fire Dog. I run 2 because I tend to run through them pretty fast. It keeps me from getting sacked, and they can clear it very quickly, so that's why I run 2 in this deck. And to top everything off, Shockmaster, because of Rekindling, is very easy to get your 4s back, and you can go into a Shock block if you need to. So that's the deck. I only have 1 side deck card, and I only put it in there just because it's funny, and that's Ukazi. Just burn some damage. It's along with the theme of fire, and it's pretty fun. And your opponent flips out when they see Ukazi.
Yeah. Alright, well, I have a quick question. What are you going to do when Lavals Chain comes out? Because that's rank 4, and it's... you know what it does? When you attach material from it, and it returns a monster... Or you can put 1 monster card to the top of your deck, or send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard, I think.
Lavals Chain is going to be a pretty interesting tech. I'll probably wait to put that card in a strict Laval deck, because that's probably what's going to happen next when the Molten Conduction card comes out, because that's going to speed this deck up so much. That'll probably just be a strict Quasar deck. I mean, I know people will see me pull this card out a lot, but I don't have to go for it. I can go for bigger monsters or other ones that are more versatile. But when Laval Chain probably comes out and Molten Conduction comes out, I'm probably going to just make this a deck with Lavals. That's how I'm going to incorporate that card in there, because it is a pretty good card, and this is just stupid fast.
Yeah. Alright.
To give credit to the people who helped inspire this deck, like, I'm not saying I created this all on my own. Like, bringing all people's ideas together, especially my friends, are what helped me make this deck. Sitting on DN brought in the tech cards like the Chowlin and the Fire Inaris in here, and the Gores and the Trags, because I realized how Chaos Dragons work is very similar to this deck, where you're going to be special summoning a lot, you don't have a lot of back rows, so you're going to need to keep yourself from getting sacked. I'll give credit to my friend Matthew, who told me about Pound and the Lightsworn side of this deck. He said it helps me mill, and this helps me get out my Lila, because it has 200 defense if it gets destroyed by battle. It was a great idea, and I really liked it, and I tested it out, and it's really helped me. I'll give credit to my friend Tobias for the Laval engine. This is what I really liked from his part of the deck, because the milling. Lakeside Lady is a big inspiration from him, because I saw how he was popping back row, and I like that effect. And so seeing that they're fire monsters, and I'm trying to go for big monsters in this deck. I don't like back row. I have enough to pop, and this made it a lot faster. And so I'll give credit to him for that. And like I said, I just took those ideas from my friends, looked up more, because when I saw that Cosmo Blazer came out, and all these people were playing fire decks, Fire Kings and Fire Fist and the Hazy Flames, I was like, I want to run a fire deck too, but I don't want to run what everyone else is running.
Right.
So I remember what me and my friends were talking about, dueling Tobias so many times, seeing Lavals ran, getting the inspiration from Matthew, and with Inari that came out, and learning about Chowlin, it brought it all together, and this deck was born.
Alright. Alright, well, I like the deck. It's a good idea. Well, this has been Marshmallow with a deck profile of random awesomeness. So, so please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Thanks for watching.